Hello, everyone. This is Susan Wloszczyna, senior editor at Gold Derby, and I have the great pleasure of talking to Kat Deeley, who I'm sure most of you know is the host of the Fox reality show, So You Think You Can Dance. And it's Emmy season right now, and you might be in contention again as best reality or competition program host for the show's 15th season last year. And I'm sure it's more frustrating to you than me, but you've been nominated 5 times in a row between 2011, 2015, and never won. And it's sort of like a Glenn Close situation. And lately,
I keep Meryl Streep the whole time. That's my problem.
Okay, well, maybe you can change who your icon is in the movie. He gets a lot of nominations, but lately RuPaul has been kind of ruling that category for the past 3 years. So, what can we do to make sure you make the ballot this time?
I have no idea. Listen, to me, I never imagined, I mean, basically, I grew up in England. I never imagined in my wildest dreams I would even be nominated for an Emmy. And to be honest, I love the chance to get a frock on and some jewelry and go and have a lovely time. It's amazing. And my biggest win of all is getting to host a show I love. And that's all I care about, is that, you know, the show continues and people continue to love it in the same way that I do. I hope it shows. You know, I love going to work in the morning. I love everybody who I work with. The dancers are incredible. The choreographers are amazing. And I feel privileged to be able to, there aren't that many people that can turn around and say, I love my job. And I truly do. And that for me is the win-win, you know.
Well, I think what makes you such a good host is that you are fast on your feet, but almost as fast as the dancer. I think you have no problem, you know, dealing with things like with exhausted dancers. You know, you can't make them talk right away, so you give them a time to catch their breath and, you know, come back to reality. And I think, you know, you also, you know, you can make a fool of yourself in a nice way. And I just remember the one time one of the dancers wore like grill work, like gold.
And grills
in your mouth.
Yeah, it was Twitch.
Oh,
it was Twitch's grill. Okay. It was Twitch's grill that I put in my mouth. I mean, I do stupid things. But I think the audience likes it. It's that thing of, I love live TV. I love the fact that anything can happen. And you know what? I feel like even if you make a mistake, if you handle it with a little bit of self-deprecation and a sense of humor, I think actually it endears the audience to you more. No one wants you to be perfect, you know. They just want you to feel passionate about what you're doing, and most of all, look as though you're having a great time. The one that I recently just did, which was last season, was I got JJ to jump over my shoulders. JJ was approximately 5'1", and I am approximately 6'2" in a pair of heels.
Right.
And he jumped. I didn't really think it through, in all honesty. I didn't. And when I got home, my husband said to me, "You absolute maniac. You idiot. You could have broken your neck on live TV." I was like, "Yeah, but it's live TV. It would have been great. It would have been great."
I remember that now, and I thought, yes, not
the same thing.
Idiot, but oh my God, what did you think?
I know, totally. And it was live. It wasn't as though, oh, we can sort this out. But I think that's what makes it interesting. That's what makes it different. That's, you know, Fox is all about live, and you never know quite what's going to happen. And I love that.
Yeah, but you're also, you know, generally concerned when, without being sappy about it, that when people get bad critiques, you're there for them and you kind of smooth over what they're feeling. And I think you're very good at that too.
Yeah, I mean, I think that I think I'm quite lucky on the show that I do, that if there are any criticisms, it's normally constructive. It's always normally constructive critiques. But also, I am prepared to stand up if I don't think they're being fair. I remember the one season, I can't remember which dancer it was with, but the previous season, the previous week, they'd given one kind of critique, and it was like, you've got to put your own style and your own stamp on it. And then the next week they went, you were putting too much of your own style into it. And I went, hold on a second. No. Last week you said this. And I remember the audience applauded, and I listened to what they say, and listen, our judges are amazing, and they have a vast amount of knowledge specifically about dance that I don't have. But if I don't think they're being fair, I'll speak up for the dancer 100%, because that's what people at home are going to be doing on their couch. My job is to be the everyman sat at home. I'm not a dancer. I don't know the terminology. I don't know any of those things. So if the judges start talking too technical, I'll ask the questions that everybody at home are talking about. And also, if I don't think they're being fair, I'll ask them about that as well.
Well, it was interesting last season that Nigel got a little off. Whatever. He didn't like Jensen Arnold's sexy dance number, jazz number, because he thought it was too sexy.
Right.
Which surprises me, because he usually likes those kind of routines. And I know that the other judges were kind of disagreeing with him. I forget if you were also chiming in on that too.
I mean, to me, that's a very specific case. I mean, you can say you don't like something, but you can't penalize a dancer if that's just not your thing, I know she'd worked really, really hard, and naturally she's a ballroom dancer, so it doesn't come to her. It's not easy for her to do something like jazz. But I'll always be right there for the dancer, particularly as I know all their backstories, and we do rehearsals together, and we get to just chat off camera as well. So I know what's going on in their lives. I know if they've got injuries going on. I know all of that.
Yeah. Now, let's talk about last season a little bit more, because what dance routine did you enjoy the most that season?
Oh my goodness, there's always so many. I mean, I love all the group numbers. The group numbers are always incredible. Yeah. I mean, the JJ number with Lauren, it was just a great Mandy Moore jazz piece. It was very, very just a typical jazz routine, but it was incredible. I think it's always when the right dancer comes together with the right choreographer, hair, makeup, music, lights, something magical happens. And it's when everything comes together at the same time that you have these incredible routines that stick in your mind.
Well, my favorite was the yellow raincoat dance.
Oh, yeah, that was amazing.
And then when Twitch and Nigel joined in, it just was like beyond.
With the old man shuffle.
Yes.
Totally. And don't forget, that was the Luther Brown routine. And then don't forget the Luther Brown Alien Girls as well. Yeah. That was incredible. Yeah. There are just so many,
So if you're trying to submit an episode, do you have to pick one, or do they judge the whole season for you?
You have to pick one. You basically put one episode forward. I think that's going to be my one with JJ, the crazy one where he jumps over my head.
Really? All right. So it was worth it for that.
Exactly what I said. Well, if this doesn't get me an Emmy, then nothing will. I'm giving up.
Right.
Short of death, nothing will.
Now, do you have an all-time favorite number? Routine. Yeah.
Oh, you know what? I love the Mia Michaels bench routine with Heidi and Travis.
Yeah.
I love Wade Robson's Rama Lama routine. That was right at the beginning. What's yours?
I love Twitch and Alex Wong's All Your Mine.
Yes, the one that Ellen came and did afterwards.
Yeah.
Ellen played the Alex Wong role with Twitch.
Yeah.
So good. Get out of your mind. Yeah.
I rewound that 5 times in a row. I just couldn't believe it. It was like I never saw anything. They were so well matched.
Oh,
yeah, he was.
But
great.
I mean, but also completely different. That's the insane thing. Alex Wong is like a prima ballerina. Like he's a full-on ballerina, and then you've got Twitch, who is this breaker. And to put the two of them together is just shouldn't work.
Yeah.
But gosh, did it? That one completely sums up that whole thing and it was just a couch and a clipboard. Remember, those were the only props that they had, and yet it just it's making me go look.
Yeah, goosebumps.
Yeah, it does. Like I only have to start talking about it. That's how I feel about this show.
And my favorite dancer is Mark Kanamura.
Oh,
I love that he got with Lady Gaga.
Oh, he's gorgeous. And did you see his routine that he did as well? We're actually going to be performing that. He choreographed that routine of the big group number, and it's so good.
Good.
RuPaul actually was on social media about it and just saying it was perfect and 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, because he did it to a RuPaul track. It was so good. I love when the dancers come full circle like that. I think our show does this thing, it's a springboard. So wherever the kids want to go next, they can choose. And some people want to go back to their hometown and open a dance studio and do that and be close to their family. And that's great too. And then some people, you've got somebody like Melanie, who's on Broadway and was in Hello Dolly. And then you've got Jasmine, who's on tour with Beyonce and was on her album cover, and Mark with Lady Gaga. And it just goes, Twitch, she's now on the Ellen show. Like, it's so great. The opportunities that are available to these kids afterwards are just incredible. They can dream their wildest dreams and then make them reality.
Well, I took dance lessons from the age of 4 to about 14.
Mm-hmm.
And I just didn't want to wear toe shoes or wear tap shoes with high heels. So I could do jazz a bit, but it does, I mean, it stays with you, because if I have to follow a routine, even if it's not physical, it stays with you that, having to do everything over repetitive, and you learn it. And it's great. So you can't dance.
No, not at all. I mean, I love dancing. Don't get me wrong. I love dancing at weddings. I've been known to have a late night out at a club and dance on a table, etc. I love dancing, but I'm rubbish at it. I know my own limitations.
Well, your entrance is always very, you do a little sashaying down.
It's normally accompanied with oh my goodness, thank goodness I made it from the back of the stage to the front of the stage without falling over. I'm the klutziest person known to man. I've got these like long limbs that I'm not properly in control of. So I'm always kind of like, if I actually did start dancing, someone would probably get a black eye or an elbow or something like that.
So what can you tell us about season 16 now? I assume the auditions are over. They're filmed.
The auditions are over, but I mean, that's one of the ways we've been on air so long that actually the audition process has now changed, because when we first started, there wasn't really social media and YouTube and things like that. So how we would do it is we'd do it the old fashioned way and essentially travel around the country. And I'm talking like 500 people and all the equipment. It's not an easy move. It's not Nigel and I packing our bags and going in. It's a huge circus. And we'd go around the country, and we'd always do the East Coast and we'd always do the West Coast, because that's where dancers tend to gravitate to, because there's more work opportunities. But then we'd also do the middle of the country as well, because you were also looking for dancers that didn't quite have the opportunities but had the talent. And, it was about discovering diamonds in the rough, so to speak. But now it's changed so much, because people post their routines, they post what they can do. And so we see all of these things, and then we invite them to come to LA and come and audition for us. So it's so strange, actually, because technology and social media has completely changed since we've been doing the show, and so influenced the way that we do it. So it is very different, actually. We're doing all the auditions in LA. We've done those. We've done the Academy. And I think the big difference is that now it seems that different genres do just all kind of fade into each other. It's not so... I mean, Dominic, who's one of the new judges on the show with Laurianne Gibson as well. Dominic was a breaker. He was on one of the early shows with us, and he'd be able to lift his leg to his waist. He couldn't get it any higher than that, and he'd be the first person to say it. Now that wouldn't cut the mustard. We'd a breaker has to do contemporary and that's it's really changed.
Yeah. Now you've been the host since 2006.
Yeah.
And did you ever think it would last this long?
No, never, ever, ever. I thought, to be honest, I didn't even think past the first season when I started it, because I didn't dare to. Yeah. It was all like, well, let's see if the audience likes me, and let's see if it works. And I think when you don't try too hard, and when you don't try to emulate anybody else or be different from who you actually are, I think it definitely takes you a minute to bed in. But once you do, people quite like having a constant that runs through the show, I think. And whether that's, Mary and Nigel as judges, or me as a host, or Mandy Moore or Mia Michaels as choreographers, they like seeing that, I think. And I think that's what our show is, in all honesty. I think that we're unashamedly a reality show, definitely. We're about celebrating people's talents. We're about finding out all about them, their backstories, their sense of humor, what makes them tick, their childhoods. But we're also a show where we celebrate people's talent, and our show has a lot of heart. We dancers always come back. They always come back, and they'll ask about job opportunities, or they'll just pop into the studio, or they'll be an all-star, or we go to their weddings, we see their babies. It's that. And I think that the audience now at home see that too. And I think it is a giant dysfunctional family, but it's a family with a massive heart. And I think the audience quite enjoy being a part of it.
Yeah. And well, I have a silly question now.
Yeah.
Despite being called Cat,
yeah,
I know you have a dog.
Yes.
Is it a beagle mix?
Yes, it is. That's good knowledge from you.
I love dogs, so
yeah, that's good knowledge. She's just a mutt. She's just a mutt, but she's a puggle got out next door to a basset hound.
Oh.
So that's the mixture. So she's pug, beagle, and basset. But she's lovely. But it's so funny, since I've had my 2 babies, she's gone all grey round us now. She sometimes looks at me and goes, "Remember when it was just us? Remember the good old days?"
We were so young then.
Yeah, totally. Before I had to have my whiskers tweaked and my tail pulled. Yeah. But she's so lovely, and she's so good with my boys, and I think it's really good for them as well. It teaches them to be gentle and kind and all of those good things. And she's so patient, and she's such a lovely, lovely girl.
Yeah. Well, good luck with the Emmys. I'm so looking forward to the show coming back.
Me too.
And I'm glad we finally got to talk damn technology. And
thank you so much.
Thank you, and good luck with everything.
Thank you. Bye. See you soon.